What's going on, everybody? We're about, I don't know, what is it? It's 12:37 right now. Friday morning, November 14th, as I record this video. We are about 40 hours away from kickoff. Miami Hurricanes hosting NC State Wolfpack at the Hard Rock. It is the final home game of the regular season. There is the possibility that Miami could play at the Hard Rock again. A lot of things need to go their way for that to happen, including winning Saturday afternoon at the Hard Rock over NC State. And of course, if other things work themselves out, maybe just maybe Miami could find themselves as a what is it, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, could find themselves potentially as an 8 seed hosting a first round playoff game. That is always a possibility, but more so likely that they could find themselves playing in the Orange Bowl in the quarterfinals if they make the playoffs, which would be a home game at the Hard Rock. And then, hey, if we're also lucky, we will potentially see them in the national championship game at the Hard Rock. But I'm getting way too ahead of myself. Let's talk about this game. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast where we bring you the facts over the feelings. But of course, these are our feelings on this game, backed by facts. And here we are, last game of the season in the Hard Rock, regular season wise. A lot of the guys that are going to be going out, yeah, they're going to have to make their final walkthrough and bid adieu to the Hard Rock. And they are in a game that they must win, and they must win convincingly. And we're going to talk about this game. We welcome back CJ Bailey from Hollywood Chaminade Madonna, who is the quarterback for NC State. He is having a dynamic season, completing 70.7% of his passes, 2,411 yards, 19 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. One of the best quarterbacks in the country, without a doubt. He is having a really, really good year. He's 12th in QBR nationally, 81.4. Quarterback rating of 158.3. The dude is solid, 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 but he can be had. And even though we all think, and many of us think or have, are under the impression that he might be in a Hurricane uniform next season, there are ways to have an impact on CJ Bailey, because CJ Bailey is who makes the NC State offense go. Now, as we dig a little bit deeper into this thing, we also look at the fact that this is a team that is 5-4, that has been up and down, that has a solid offense, and actually a pretty good offense, but also has been slowed down by some opponents, including Virginia Tech and Notre Dame. Notre Dame gave NC State the business, beat them down 36-7. So if you want to look at a common opponent, Notre Dame is a common opponent that smacked up CJ Bailey and the NC State Wolfpack. Notre Dame sacked him 4 times. It's the worst game that CJ Bailey had all season was against Notre Dame. It was a rough go for him, but they got to him. That's how you impact CJ Bailey. You get to him. He's long, he's wiry, he's rangy. He has the ability to get out of the pocket. He's athletic, and you have to make sure that you are disciplined and you contain him. You cannot let him get those runs. I mean, this is a critical game for Ruben Bain, for Akeem Mesidor, to ensure that they are taking care of contain, that they are not letting him escape outside the pocket. And of course, linebackers have to be at home. But yeah, the games in which he has struggled, he has been sacked. He's been sacked 5 times against Virginia Tech. They lost that game 23-21. Sacked 4 times by Notre Dame. They lost the game 36-7. Those are pretty much his 2 worst games of the season. And in those games, he got hit a lot. A lot. I mean, just being real, he got hit a lot. And that is something that Miami is going to have to do the entire game, especially early on. The Miami defense has got to lay its stamp on this game early on by putting CJ Bailey into the ground. No doubt about it. But another critical component of this game for NC State is their running game. Hollywood Smothers is back in the lineup, expected to play. He is their leading rusher. He has rushed for, gosh, over 800 yards this season, 120 carries, 825 yards, 6.9 yards per carry. That is a big number. 6 touchdowns. He did not play against Georgia Tech, but in that game against Georgia Tech, Jaden Scott came in and had a banner game. 24 carries, 196 yards, 8.2 yards per carry. He had a long of 69, and that is in the NC State's dominating win over Georgia Tech. So they have weapons. Now they don't wide receiver, they don't have any big time crazy threat. Terrell Anderson, he has a long of 75, and that's literally almost like a sixth of his yardage this season. Seventh, maybe. He's got 28 catches. Wesley Grimes has 22 catches. Really, the guy that you have to make sure that you take care of is Justin Jolly, the tight end for NC State. He's 6'3", 251, 36 catches, 365 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He is a security blanket for CJ Bailey. So you have to make sure that you are taking care of that dude, and you have someone who can cover this guy, whoever that may be, whether it's a safety or a linebacker. You have to make him unavailable for this game. Really, what it comes down to is this: when NC State runs the ball, they're successful. When they don't, they're not. NC State against Virginia Tech, Hollywood Smothers only had 16 carries for 67 yards. They rushed the ball for only 59 yards. Couldn't get a running game going. You look at the game against Notre Dame, similar situation. Smothers goes 12 carries for 46 yards. Couldn't get a running game going. They only rushed the ball for 51 yards in that game, 28 carries for 51 yards. Like I said, CJ Bailey got sacked 4 times in that game. So those 2 games, which were both losses, are games in which they could not get the run going. Now, against Pitt, they did run the ball, but that was a high-scoring shootout. And against they did beat East Carolina, and in that game, they didn't run the ball all that well, but it's East Carolina. They finished 36 carries for 105. Miami has got to early on put CJ Bailey on the ground. And I think as much as important as it is to stop CJ Bailey and slow him down, it's even more important to stop the running game. If they stop the running game and they make CJ Bailey a passer, he does have the ability to throw the ball to us. Just that simple. That running game is going to be the critical component for CJ Bailey's success on Saturday, or lack thereof. But I will get to the most basics here. I don't want to hear about NC State's defense from Mario Cristobal. I don't want to hear that NC State has a solid defense. They do not. Their defense stinks. Their defense is the 4th defense in a row that stinks. I mean, when it started with Stanford, went into SMU, then into Syracuse, and now we are playing as NC State, whose defense absolutely freaking sucks. They suck. They suck, and it's even in their wins, they largely suck defensively. They're not a good defense. They give up upwards of 30 points a game. They're one of the worst defenses one of the worst in the country. They're worse than 100. They give up over 30.6 points per game. They give up in terms of yardage. They give up 424.8 yards per game, which is like 110th. And passing wise, please, for the love of God, I do not want to hear another time where someone tells me that we are playing a good pass defense. We are not. The only pass defense worse than SMU, who we did not throw the ball on for whatever reason. I'm sorry, the only pass defense worse than NC State in the country is SMU, who we refuse to throw the ball on. The only one. And Syracuse's was one of the worst as well. These defenses stink, and I don't want to hear it. I'm so tired of hearing why we don't do something, why we don't throw the ball, why the defense is dictating what we do. Every single game, I have listened to this crap. If you had Randy Moss on the outside, would you not throw the ball deep? You would. It doesn't matter what the other team does. It doesn't matter. You got Randy Moss. Now, we don't have Randy Moss. But what we do have is what we do have are athletic wide receivers who can beat shit defensive backs. They can beat them down the field. They can get open. They can give opportunity. They can do all of these things. It's like ever since the game against Louisville, they have lost faith and trust in Carson Beck throwing the ball down the field. Despite the fact that neither of those throws down the field against Louisville were all that bad. The first throw was a very good throw where a DB made an incredible play. Had Nick on here last night, and he, a former professional cornerback, and so that safety made an incredible play. Give credit when it's due to somebody. The second pick that was down the field, it wasn't terribly underthrown. It was thrown in a jump ball type of way. And when you're a wide receiver in that situation, and you better knock it down. You better knock that ball away. You better play the role of defensive back in that situation. And our receiver did not do that. But you have to attack them down the field. You have got to throw the ball down the field. I don't want to watch a game of swing passes. It's called, the CFP committee has told you to your face in no uncertain terms, they don't like your offense. You're inconsistent. They want to see excitement. They want to see you dominate. They want to see you put up points. Not with your defense setting up the ball up at the 3-yard line or the 5-yard line or having a pick six or giving you the ball to 20 and then you can't score a touchdown. They want the offense to score points. They want to see some big plays. They want to see, big time stuff that's exciting. They want to see you dominate. It's really, really simple. They're giving you the blueprint. Follow it. Follow it. Let Carson Beck play quarterback. If Carson Beck is not allowed to play quarterback against shit turd teams like NC State, and I'm not calling them a shit turd team in terms of they're not any good because they obviously are good enough to beat Georgia Tech. But when they're shit turd, like their defenses stink. And that's why they're not better than they are. If NC State had a good defense, they'd probably be sitting at 7-2 or 8-1 right now. But their defense sucks. Their defense is trash. This team gave them 45 points to Duke. Like, this isn't rocket science here, people. Shannon Dawson, Mario Cristobal, please let Shannon Dawson call plays for Carson Beck to throw the ball down the field. If we need to see trick plays on Saturday, I'm fine with it. I'm cool with that. Let those plays be plays that you throw down the field. Not swing passes, not quarterback throwbacks, not passes to your freaking offensive tackle. I want to see balls thrown down the field to Malachi Toney, to Keelan Marion, to JoJo Trader, to Joshua Moore, and whatever else wide receiver we have playing this weekend. I don't want to see 2 tight end sets. I don't want to see Gerard Pringle running into the backs of linemen. I want to see him stretch to the outside. I want to see Gerard Pringle start. I want to see him matched up on linebackers in wheel routes, for which he'll turn them into barbecue chicken. That's what I want to see. That's what we need to see. We need to see some level of creativity that makes the CFP committee say, oh, la, we, Muhammad Ali. That's what we want to see, right? You know what I'm saying? So that's what we got to see this weekend. That's what we need from the offense. We've already determined that the tight end play is subpar, substandard. They're not going to have balls thrown their way unless it's like last resort. I don't want to hear that Malachi Toney can't get the ball thrown to him because of how they're covering him. Well, guess what? Your job is to figure out how to do that. Rub routes, crossers, create a mess. It's not complicated. Have wide receivers running the DBs into each other. Not the wide receiver running into the DB, but the wide receivers running these DBs into each other. You got to throw the ball down the field. You've got to. We cannot be looking at a 7-7 game at halftime or a 7-0 game. Or we can't be looking at 4 possessions where we can't score points. Because I'm telling you right now, if we start the game off with 4 punts, we will be trailing. Because we will be putting our defense in a very bad position. And I do think our defense can dominate NC State. I do think our defense can make CJ Bailey's life miserable. Our defense is very, very good. And at times has been absolutely elite and untouchable. It has. But you cannot allow NC State to get a lead. You cannot allow them to play from ahead. You cannot allow them to dictate the tempo. You have to dictate the tempo. Once again, another team that we are more talented than. More talented than. So I don't want to see us slowing the game down and shortening the possessions. We want more possessions against teams with bad defense like this. Again, this is another team that we should be up 21 points on at halftime. That's what we should be winning by halftime. If we don't score at least 35 points, there's a problem here. And realistically, we should be in the 40s on this team. I want to see that South Florida edge we played with, that edge that we played against USF with, where, we were clicking 14-0 first two possessions, complete control of that game, dominated the game, beat the hell out of South Florida. That was the most complete game that we played all year. Most complete game we played. And we played way worse teams. It's like from the time that Mario Cristobal turned off the offense in the fourth quarter against Florida State and told his team, I don't trust you to finish these bums off. It's like they had a switch turn off and they can't figure out how to turn the switch back on. And then listen to Shannon Dawson tell us that the team has been playing tight on offense. No kidding. You call plays that make them tight. You call plays that don't show trust. You don't run an offense that's exciting for anybody, let alone a college player. So it's beholden on you to call plays that make it fun. This isn't 1995 Nebraska triple option football. You didn't pay Carson Beck all this money to throw swing passes. I'm like, I keep reiterating this crap. That will not get the job done in the playoffs. It might beat most ACC teams. It should have beaten Louisville and SMU, but it didn't. But that's not going to get the job done in the playoffs if we're so lucky to get there. But in order to get there, we have to win these games convincingly with style and in spectacular fashion. CFP has told us this much. They've said it. They've said it. I think Miami's going to roll these dudes. And I'm not saying it as an optimist because I'm not an optimist. This game isn't the one that worries me. The game that makes me nervous is Pittsburgh, particularly if Pittsburgh is 9-2. If Pittsburgh's 7-4 and loses their next two games, then no, I don't think Pittsburgh's that much of a threat either, even in Pittsburgh, because they might be ready to turn off their season. But if they're 9-2, they're going to come in juiced. That would be the game that makes me a little bit nervous because while we're more talented than they are, it's not about the talent anymore. It's about the coaches putting these guys in the position to win. The keys to this game are very, very simple. Stop the run for NC State. You stop the run, you make CJ Bailey a passer. And while he's a very good passer, he performs better when they run the ball. When they're successful running it, he's more successful passing it. That's the way it is with most quarterbacks. Stop that run. Make it very difficult. You cannot let this guy get out of there like you allowed Isaac Brown to do with Louisville. You can't allow that to happen again. You shut down the run with SMU. It's unreal that we did not win that game with them having -3 yards rushing going into overtime. It's crazy to me. Crazy. The Hurricanes do have some things to deal with. I mean, they're missing Keontae Scott. He's out for this game. Mark Fletcher's out. Tony Johnson's out. OJ Frederick is still out. David Blaze questionable. On the other side, I mean, the Wolfpack have a bunch of guys out as well. And Hollywood Smothers is questionable for this game. But yeah, we need to stop the run, bro. You stop the run and you put pressure on Bailey and you sack the quarterback and you got to make plays down the field. I'm going to be real. Make plays downfield. I think making plays down the field is going to wake up the Hard Rock. It's going to make the play, excite the place, get the fans buzzing early. I'll tell you this right now. I heard Carson Beck say it. I heard Mario Cristobal say it. I said they both said it. I mean, I think Shannon Dawson said it too. First play of the game. Carson Beck threw a ball to Malachi Tony, and they said that the guy tipped it. If the guy doesn't tip it, Malachi Tony runs for an 80-yard touchdown. And like I said in my other video, if I had a vagina, I'd be a woman. But you want to know what you need to do to start this game? If you get the ball to start the game, and even in your first possession of offense, whether it's after if you play defense first, the first ball of the game needs to be a deep pass. Throw it down the field. Deep ball. Deep ball. Throw it deep. Make them recognize this, that you're going to chuck it down the field. Because if you do that, you now change the way NC State views this. Because they're expecting you to run the ball. First play. They're expecting one of two plays. Swing pass, run. One of the two. They're not expecting you to chuck it down the field because you haven't shown that. You haven't shown it in weeks. You didn't throw the ball deep against Syracuse. We didn't throw the ball deep against Stanford. Was it Stanford? I think we threw it deep once against, if I recall. I'm not 100% sure. Throw it deep, man. Throw it deep. First play of the game. That's all I got. Oh yeah, prediction: Miami 42-20. Or as I say, I was on Cafecito with Canes tonight with John. I think I said 42-21, 42-20. I think somewhere around there is reasonable. 42-20, 42-21. I think Miami's going to score points. I think Miami's going to put the game away early, and NC State probably gets a touchdown or two late because we do what we do. But I think we're in control of this game, and we understand, the players understand that what they got to get done. And I'm hoping that Dawson, after seeing the trick plays last week, change the energy on the team. That those are things that you do earlier in this game, but they're done in the field of play, not just for a touchdown. Like, you shouldn't need to do that to score a touchdown, guys like this. You shouldn't. But y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We will be there live from the Hard Rock, broadcasting live, streaming live, and we hope you join us if you're not in the stadium or able to watch it on TV. Or if you're able to watch, even if you're able to watch it on TV, mute your television and listen to us. We will talk about this game and give you our play-by-play live from the Hard Rock. I appreciate y'all as always. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell. This is Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.